And now another deadline is fast approaching. My gosh, it's almost the end of July already. So we're in August. So come September 1 is when Washington state teachers, the window closes for them to opt out of paying union dues if they object to the politics of the Washington Education Association. So here in Washington, um, many of those politics of WEA support very left leaning ideologies. Some, like we were just talking to, the WEA is funding the political action group behind the effort to tell people don't support the initiative that would protect girls' sports. So a lot of teachers have opted out. A lot of teachers have said, wait a minute, this is just, you know, you're going too far with ideology. I don't want to pay into the union anymore. You may recall that prior to 2018, the teachers and other public union employees were beholden to their unions as a condition of employment. But we had that condition, or we had that ruling, I should say, in 2018 from the US Supreme Court, the Janus decision that said, as a condition of employment, you don't have to be a member of your union. And so, as a consequence, many public employees have opted out of their union. And earlier this month, hundreds of teachers, including some from Washington, gathered in Dallas for the annual Teacher Freedom Alliance. Now, the Teacher Freedom Alliance is an offshoot of the Freedom Foundation, and they support teachers who've opted out of their unions to kind of help them navigate. Here's how you still have, at no cost to yourself, liability coverage because the union tells teachers, you don't want to opt out. Yeah, you're going to lose your, insurance coverage. Well, Teacher Freedom Alliance says, no, you're not. We've got you covered. So that's one of the many reasons why some teachers who've opted out have then joined the alliance. So I spoke with Ryan Walters today. He is the chief executive officer of the Teacher Freedom Alliance. And he told me that many teachers who opt out um, convey they were hesitant to do so, even though they might have been considering it for some time, were hesitant, even if they disagree with the politics of the union, because they are afraid of the very real backlash.
We hear this on a daily basis from teachers of, we are really afraid of what the repercussions are if we leave because the unions have been so heavy-handed. We've seen examples of them, doxing teachers. We've seen examples of them showing up or sending individuals to their classrooms or their homes to confront them, saying they're not with the cause, they're not supportive of public education. If they don't join the union, they're traitors, they're scabs, all of these things. And most teachers go, I just want to do my job. And so you have a lot of teachers that struggle with, do I really want to deal with all of that? And so that's where we try to step in and say, listen, we can provide professional development that you need, liability insurance that you need. And again, when we talk about professional development, we're very much an organization that says, what would make you a better teacher? That's what we want to offer. So reading instruction, instruction on how to teach American history, how to create good citizens out of your students, things like that are what we really emphasize. And so we do. We hear it from teachers all the time. Well, will you help us navigate this world if we leave the union and are targeted because we see it so often? And we help teachers through that entire process as well.
Now, the WEA contends that Freedom Foundation and the Teachers Freedom Alliance work to weaken public education and to dismantle public sector unions. And they accuse the group of sending these unsolicited pieces of mail to teachers' homes. They say visiting work sites to pressure members into dropping their membership. But Walters told me the teachers' unions are themselves going to great lengths to prevent them from simply providing information like, here's what the teachers union says they can offer you, here's what you might want to consider if you opt out. And so they have tried to provide this level playing field, if you will, but there are several states that are working against that effort.
We've seen Oregon State pass a law that says the Freedom Foundation, the Teacher Freedom Alliance can't contact teachers because we're, acting as if we're a union. No, we're not. We're not a union. We're an organization that provides these opportunities for teachers, but it shows you. And just last week at the Teachers Union National Conference, one of the resolutions they passed was to have states push legislation to not allow us to advertise in those states. And again, what they want is they want a monopoly. And what we're saying is we're all about freedom. If you want to join our organization, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But we want to give you the opportunity to say, if you want to be part of a professional organization, you should be able to pick from a suite, from a menu of those organizations, and especially not be pushed into one that is pushing a left wing agenda. Again, if we're about getting the classrooms back to academic excellence, we want more groups out there doing what we're doing. Again, we're happy to see other organizations do that, but we want teachers to have that freedom, those options. And the Janus Supreme Court ruling was very clear. You don't have to join a teachers union to be a teacher. And yet the teachers union continues to try to box out any competition and not even allow teachers the information to make their own decision. And I'll tell you why that is, of course. They don't want to lose the money that comes from their automatic union dues. So for them, any kind of competition takes from their bottom line, takes from their political power, and that's why they fight this so aggressively.
Now, I did reach out to the Washington Education Association for comment on these criticisms from the Teacher Freedom Alliance and Freedom Foundation ahead of just about a month from now is the deadline for teachers in Washington state to have their annual opt out period. And I did not receive a response, but I will be putting up an article on our Center Square Washington page. If they do respond, I will be certain to include that in the article. So that's it for today's episode of Washington in Focus Daily for this Wednesday. I hope to see you again on Thursday.